Thank you for taking the time to watch this video that highlights some of the interactive data views for classroom teachers of state assessment results on NewWay's WISE data-driven instructional platform. I'm Arthur Aldino, former educator and founder of NewWay Technologies. What you're about to see is a live, unedited recording with real data taken from a school district. The names of students and teachers would change to protect their confidentiality. Classroom teachers have really two options. One is to look at students and classes they previously taught in the prior school year, as well as to be able to look at data for students they are currently teaching, to use that data to personalize instruction. If we first begin with what we call the rear view, this is the June 2014-15 school year. We're going to pick section 2, 26 students in that class. 14 of those students took the state assessment. These are the students a teacher worked with last year, and she wants to see the results. As you hover over the student's name, you'll be able to see their scale score and performance level. If you click on a student's name, the domain, clusters, and standards will populate. If you select a particular standard, that description will appear. There's also the possibility for a teacher or student or parent to be able to see how they performed on both the math and ELA assessments side by side. In this particular case, the scale score was 724 with a performance level of 2, and in ELA, the scale score was 679 with a performance level of 1. So this particular student is performing at a lower level in ELA than she is in math. If you want to provide assistance or help any particular standard, for example, ratios and percents, we can take them to curricula that's online as well as content and lessons that are online. So if we click here, in this particular case, we're taking the student to Engage New York for curriculum that's being taught for that particular standard. And if we go here, we're taking them to New York Learn, where there are lessons available. Once again, for the standard that's in question of ratios and percents. That's a little bit on the rear view. Now let's go forward, what we call the front view. This is the current school year 2015-16. The system automatically knows the students that are in a teacher's class for both the rear view as well as the front view. This particular time we're picking section 3. There are 24 students in that class. Grade 6 assessment, they took the prior school year. The teacher wants to see to guide instruction for the current school year. The teacher can see these students, how they did in 6th grade, their performance level here of 4, and some 3s and 2s, as well as a 1. Once again, if we click on a particular student, the domain, cluster, and standard will populate. I'll be able to see that results. And I'll be able to also see the students side by side, once again. So this particular student, how they performed in math as well as in English language arts in that particular school year. Another view that's available for the teacher is to be able to look at the class as a group, so aggregate all the results for that class, and overall as a class I can see how that group of students performed on the prior assessment. Just to be clear, I'm teaching them in 7th grade math, and I want to see how they performed in 6th grade. We also have the possibility of looking at students for blended learning and small group instruction, where we look at the students in a low, middle, and high group. We break the class up into 3 groups arbitrarily, and we're looking at their scale scores and performance levels. We can then break the students up into smaller groups. We can see by looking at this low group and the 2 weakest areas, equations and expressions, and ratios and percents, which once again is not necessarily true for the middle and high. So the low group here did not do well at all on the 6th grade assessment for ratios and percents, but the middle and the high did. This information can be very helpful in preparing lessons. And the last thing I'll show you is where a teacher can look at the standards in what we call a flipped standard, where we're looking at that class and how they performed, and we can see very, very easily here their lowest standard performance was equations and expressions, followed by ratios and percents. That completes this very brief video. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. NewWay offers interactive data views, performance data on any device, like an iPad or desktop, at multiple levels, from district level to building principals to classroom teachers. For a more in-depth presentation of NewWay's platforms and apps, please see the training video on our website.